Have you ever woken up one day and felt as though everything you once cared about just does not matter anymore? The things that once excited you, the goals you used to pursue, even the daily habits you once adhered to, all have lost their significance. You sit there, staring at your to-do list or your plans and think, what is the point? If this resonates with you, rest assured, you are not crazy. You are not broken, and you are certainly not alone. This experience is something many people encounter after undergoing a spiritual awakening. Although it may feel confusing and overwhelming, it is actually indicative of a profound internal change occurring within you. There is a hidden reason why nothing feels worthwhile after awakening, and if you follow me until the conclusion of this discussion, I will explain it, share insights that may shift your perspective on this chapter of your life. This is not the end. It marks the beginning of something meaningful. Prior to your awakening, life likely followed a certain structure. You had routines, plans, and dreams. Perhaps you worked diligently for success, built relationships, or sought happiness according to societal expectations. You pursued certain goals because they provided you with a sense of identity and purpose. You felt that if you worked hard enough, you would eventually reach a point where you could relax and feel fulfilled. Even when things were not perfect, they felt familiar, and at the very least, normal. However, awakening disrupts that status quo. It challenges everything you once held to be true and compels you to question the rules you lived by, the ladder you were climbing, and even the person you believed yourself to be. You begin to see beyond the surface and realize that much of your previous activity was aimed at fitting in, gaining acceptance, and feeling sufficient. When that illusion shatters, an unexpected transformation occurs. The desire to pursue those same activities diminishes. It is akin to a switch flipping within you. You no longer wish to chase after these external validations. This sensation can be quite frightening. You may attempt to return to your old life, going through the motions of work, socializing, and being productive, but your heart is no longer invested in these actions. Everything may feel flat, phony, or empty. You might even wonder, am I depressed? Yet, on a deeper level, you recognize that this is something greater, a different experience altogether. It is as though your soul is urging you to pause, to be still, and to listen. However, the challenge lies in not knowing what to listen for. You simply recognize that the old patterns no longer serve you. This is the aspect that often goes unspoken. People tend to romanticize awakening as a beautiful moment of enlightenment, and while it can indeed be so, they often neglect to mention the turmoil that follows. The emptiness, the confusion, and the realization that life has lost its vibrancy. This represents the darker side of awakening, the phase in which everything that once mattered loses its appeal. You find yourself adrift in a liminal space, unable to return to what was, yet uncertain about what lies ahead. The most difficult part is that those around you may not understand. They might perceive you as unmotivated, lazy, or even lost. They may urge you to snap out of it, to get back on track, or to stop overthinking. Yet, they do not comprehend that you are not merely experiencing a rough patch. You are undergoing a fundamental shift in consciousness. You have outgrown your old life and are now navigating the gap between what was and what is to come. This space can feel uncomfortable, as if you are wandering without guidance. You may find yourself sleeping more, doing less, and even questioning your own existence. You might feel guilty for not being as productive or passionate as you once were. But what if I told you that this is not a mistake? What if This emptiness is not a problem to be resolved, but rather a process that deserves respect. The reality is that when nothing seems worthwhile after awakening, it is often because your soul is in the process of clearing away all that is false. It is similar to when a computer reboots. Everything goes dark for a while, but it is not broken. It is in the process of resetting. You're undergoing a reset as well. Your values, desires, and understanding of life are being rewritten from within. During this period, it is natural to feel as if nothing makes sense. You may lose motivation as you are no longer operating solely from ego. You are learning to navigate through the lens of truth. And truth does not rush. It does not pressure you to perform. Rather, it waits patiently in the stillness until you are ready to listen. If you find yourself in this space right now, feeling as if everything lacks meaning and that your spark has disappeared, please remember, you are not failing. You are undergoing a process of emptiness so that you can be filled with something genuine. This is a spiritual detox, and like any detox, it can be uncomfortable, resembling withdrawal. You are withdrawing from the compulsion to prove yourself, the addiction to busyness, and the notion that your worth is defined by your achievements. This transition is difficult, but it is also beautiful. When you relinquish the need to be someone in the eyes of the world, you create the opportunity to discover who you truly are. You may be wondering, how long will this last? When? Will I feel normal again? I wish I could provide a definitive timeline, but the truth is that everyone's journey is unique. For some, this period of stillness may last weeks. For others, it might extend for years. However, one certainty exists. The more you surrender to this process and trust it, the easier it becomes. Eventually, shifts will occur, subtly and quietly. One day you may awaken to discover a flicker, curiosity once again. It may not be overwhelming, but it will be enough to inspire exploration. Perhaps a desire to create art, connect with nature, or engage in profound conversations. These seemingly small impulses stem from a deeper source than before. They originate from your soul, not your ego. This is how you discern their authenticity. You will begin to feel attracted to activities that nourish you rather than deplete you. You will care less about traditional markers of success and more about meaning. You will stop asking, "What should I do to be successful?" and start inquiring, "What aligns with my true self?" This represents the shift after awakening. Not every pursuit will feel worthwhile, but the right ones will emerge naturally from a place of peace. You may find yourself doing less while feeling more fulfilled. You will trade ambition for authenticity. This is the greatest gift of awakening. Until you arrive at that point, be gentle with yourself. Cease judging the season in which you find yourself. You are not lazy, you are not broken, and you are not squandering your life. You are healing. And healing is not always loud or visible. At times it may resemble rest, quietness, or inactivity, allowing that stillness to shape you. The world teaches us that we must constantly be doing, achieving, and moving, yet awakening teaches us the opposite. It guides us to simply be, to remain in stillness without succumbing to panic, to breathe through the emptiness without the need to fill it, and to trust the journey even when its destination is unclear. This requires courage and strength, and if you are experiencing this quiet transformation, I want you to know that I see you, I honor you, and I assure you it will not last forever. The fog will lift, the numbness will dissipate, and when that happens, you will witness the world with renewed clarity. You will be drawn to new pursuits, those that resonate with your current energy. You will move not out of obligation, but because it feels right. You will live from within, and even if the world does not comprehend your choices, you will know in your heart that you are finally on the right path, not the one dictated by others, but the one your soul has chosen. Now, let me remind you of the core message I shared at the beginning. If you feel as though nothing is worth doing, it is not because your life is disintegrating, but rather because your old life has already crumbled. That version of you that sought approval, evaded your true self, and adhered to someone else's narrative is gone. What you are experiencing now is the interval between stories. The new, authentic narrative is still in the process of unfolding. Thus, regard this time as sacred. Allow the silence to communicate. Permit the stillness to mold you. When the moment is right, you will recognize it. You will not require pressure to move forward. The new path will gently beckon you, and you will finally comprehend the importance of this chapter, not because it felt agreeable, but because it led you back to your soul. You are not lost, my friend. You are becoming, and that is the most meaningful journey you will ever undertake.